So I'm excited to cover them. First and foremost, you have got to manage your mind. So we're going to jump into this right before we get into everything else. So I'm sure a lot of you know that I am a little bit of a research buff, and I'm always trying to expand my knowledge so that way I can pour into you guys as much as possible. These are universal mindset factors that allow you to succeed in every industry. So that means your current job right now, if this is not the only thing you do, this is also going to help you succeed in your current industry. Positive self-talk and belief in oneself. So you can do this. Confidence shows on calls, right? I always say all the time, your words can lie, but your energy cannot. People can sense your confidence or lack thereof, okay? Consistency, which we're going to go through those consistent factors that you have to do. Repetition creates confidence, guys. Repetition creates confidence. So if you're continually on these calls, if you're continually on calls with your upline doing the opportunity, you will become more confident because you know what's next, right? You know the slides, you understand how to introduce the opportunity. If you're consistently on trainings, you're going to learn more. So it will in effect help your self-belief and create better results for you, right? You want to be an example of what resilience looks like. So that we also talk about posting on social media. We're not saying post on social media because you need to post in order to gain clients or customers. We tell you guys you want to post on social media from time to time, if anything, more of a lifestyle to show people that you are consistent, that you haven't stopped doing this patch thing, right? Because people want to be with people that are consistently doing things, not somebody that jumps from ship to ship to ship. You want to focus on the movers, avoid the complainers, guys. So I like to say you want to show results instead of arguments. Negative people consume time, intensify negative energy, and they bring you down. You need to protect your energy by only spending time with people who fuel your future and their own future. So if somebody's dead weight, stop bringing them with you. If they don't want to move, you cannot force them to move. You know, they always say that saying, you can bring a horse of water, but you can't make it drink. No, you need to be focusing on the horses that are thirsty. Okay. Thirsty horses will drink the water. Okay. So let's go get the thirsty horses. Leave the ones that don't want the water, leave them behind. Okay. Your perspective is your future, right? So dance in the rain, cry in the storm. Where are you going to go? When you are around people and you're trying to lead a business, you need to be the dance in the rain person. No matter what the negativity is, you dance in the rain because negativity will poison your downline. Okay. If you have something negative to say, call your upline and be like, oh my God, this is the situation. Never share it with the downline because you need to be a positive mindset person. You're always adapting to the change and seeking the positive, right? We have solution finders versus problem dwellers. You guys can also do your own research on this and you will learn plenty. All right. IPAs, let's get to it. All right, I hope you guys are ready to take some notes, write some stuff down. You can obviously screenshot these. I will add them into the Google Drive later for those people as well. All right, feeding your mind, read 5 minutes per day. And I'm sure if somebody out there's be like, why does that? How is that going to help me? It is going to help you. Every single leader all across the world at minimum is reading 5 minutes per day, whether it's your devotional, whether it's leadership material, whether it's 2 pages in a book. If it takes you 5 minutes, that's what you got to do. That helps you. Believe me, you're showing consistency on such a small level. Small motions have much bigger impact later, right? We're small, consistent behaviors. Contacting, you are connecting with a minimum of 5 people, 5 new and 5 follow-ups every day. And I'm saying this is the minimum. If you have more time in the day, if you're like, oh my gosh, I have like 4 hours today of just time that I wasn't expecting to have. Now, no, am I saying to call people for 4 consistent hours? No, I'm not being an extremist here. All I'm simply saying is if there's more time in the day, seize your day. Seize your day. Don't just say, oh, I never have time. And then you finally get time to reach out to people and you don't use it. When I first started this business, I only had, maybe an hour a day to do this. And I was successful with just that hour in a day that I had until I had a massive event in Dubai over. Okay. So utilizing that, doing 1 minute quick pitch calls and planting the seed calls. What do I mean? 1 minute. Hey, Jessica, how are you? Oh, I'm good, good, good. Hey, Jessica, you got a quick minute? Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I'm busy. I know you're busy. I know we can't really talk right now, but I just got off the phone with a good friend of mine. I'm so freaking excited. I finally found a second stream of income that works for me with the economy, with balancing the kids and everything. I was struggling and praying for something. I finally found something. I'd love to share it with you. Are you open to other ways of making money if it makes sense to you and aligns with your values and your goals and your lifestyle? Would that be something of interest? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, great. Let's talk tonight at 8. It takes a minute to do that call. Short, sweet, to the point. I didn't say anything about the patch, right? I'm to the point. Those short calls. Planting the seeds. Those are just the ones that you're texting and calling, catching up with people, and you're later having that conversation with them. All right. And sometimes that works better for people that are a little more timid about calling somebody they haven't spoken to in 10 years. Me, I'm to the point. I'm calling you with a purpose. I'm getting done with a purpose. So I'm more of a 1 minute quick pitch girl, but you can be doing a combination of the two. Following up with everyone and always updating your list with names and dates. Okay. Guys, this is super important as well in the aspect of, for me in particular, if you guys have iPhone, I have notes, right? You have notes in there. If you have Android, I'm sure you have something similar. You should consistently have your follow-up list in detail. I had a girl, she said, I'm very interested. I want to order the product, but I'm out of town until September 1st. I get in on September 1st. So I have in my follow-up list to follow up with her September 2nd. Obviously, it's either September 2nd or the 3rd. I'm not going to obviously message her today. She's getting back today. That would be really aggressive and probably a huge turnoff, right? But I'm have it in there when I need to follow up with her, right? I'm not going to follow with her earlier if she told me that she's not back in town till September 1st. She's obviously not trying to order patches or talk about a business when she's in Ireland hiking, right? It's not the right time. So always not just have your follow-up list, but have the dates and times in there that you need to follow up with that person. Expanding your network, social media, activities, hobbies, whatever it may be, right? Obviously, the longer you do this business, you realize that your hot market is starting to slow down and you just don't have enough people to call. So obviously, social media is obviously a good one. And I'm not saying again that you have to post on there, but you can take 5 minutes to like a few people's posts that you want to engage with and comment on it. It takes about 2 minutes. We all go to the bathroom every day. How easy would it be for the 2 minutes you're in the bathroom? Boom, boom, boom. Comment. Oh my God, that looks great, girl. Whatever it may be. These little activities can help you with building a business and drawing attention to what you're doing. Duplication and exposure, okay, guys? Making sure you're sharing the tools and using them. It helps you zero. If you get somebody in this business and they do not know about the This Is It info, they do not know about This Is It team, it helps you zero. If they do not know about the weekly calls, the Saturday trainings, if they are not in the business chat that we have on WhatsApp, that's not going to help. We're trying to give everybody the same tools consistently across the board. So as soon as somebody comes in this business, you need to be sharing the tools with them in order for them to succeed. Remember, people are going to duplicate what you are doing. If you're not doing it, they're not going to do it. And then nobody's business can move up if nobody knows what to do and how to do it. Okay. Another daily thing is staying connected. Do not ghost your upline or your downline. This is so important. There's certain people that get in this business, they're super excited, they go running, and then they disappear. Do not disappear. If you want your business to grow, you need to be active. I had somebody say, oh, well, I'm just going to wait until the new compensation plan comes out. I'm sorry, but that must have been the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And I'm sure a lot of you are probably laughing like 100%. And every leader would never question. Let's say you have a business right now. Would you wait 6 months because you can do a price increase in 6 months? You're just going to shut down the doors and not do anything? No, you still need to make money. You're still building a business. You're not going to leave your employees not to make any money, right? You're not going to not have any income coming in. You guys need to stay connected, consistent in this business, communicate with your upline and communicate with your downline. Your downline looks at you and they're expecting you to help them and be there for them. So these are income producing activities that you need to do every day. If you're not trying to produce income, then go ahead and ghost people. But if you are trying to produce income and you want to build a successful business, these are the things that you need to do. And obviously everybody on this call is looking to produce income. So you guys want to do this. And these are the things that every successful person in this business has done. Weekly income producing activities that you need to do is the Saturday trainings. Saturday trainings. I'm not saying you have to be on every Saturday at 1 o'clock. Okay. Obviously, there's days where, for me at least, I live in Florida. We like to go on the pool. We like to go on the boat, right? I'm not saying every Saturday at 1 o'clock, you better be sitting down in a chair watching the videos, right? I'm not saying that, but I am saying that these Saturday trainings can be utilized at the time of your convenience. I love to listen to them when I'm cooking. Yes, I still listen to every single Saturday training, whether I'm cooking or if I go running, because I don't really care about music that much. I can listen to anything when I run, but I find time to utilize and learn what I need to learn that is provided with these resources because there's always something you're learning. Opportunity calls, guys, you need to be hosting at least 2 every week. Yes, You need to be hosting them with your upline and your prospects and helping your downline do the same. All of them, not just your second or your third generation, your fourth, your fifth, your sixth. You cannot assume that every person is going to build like you, right? 97% of people work for 3% of people in the world, right? That's because 3% are going to be consistent. You can't assume that somebody you bring in that says they want money is going to do everything perfectly, that they're going to share the resources, right? So you need to make sure that you're stepping up for your entire downline, making sure they have the resources, doing opportunity calls with them. And the more opportunity calls you do, the more confident you get because it's consistency. Okay. Checking in with those deep down to see if they need your help. Guys, you need to be building depth. Depth is huge. It's also going to be a huge factor in the new compensation plan. You cannot rely on sponsors to do this. Every single leader on this call knows that. Every leader on this call knows that. You have to make sure that everybody has the resources. They have the upline's contact information, right? And it's not because you want them to skip you and that you're not qualified to help them, but there's upline and there's people that are able to help. And this consistency of utilizing upline has proven with our strategy, right? Because it's part of the pro strategy, that it works. And it's okay because eventually you'll be that upline that is helping everyone. But until that point comes, you need to make sure that people have connection with the upline. Okay. Updating goals, guys, weekly update your goals. Life happens, kids happen, marriage happens, divorce happens. All of those things are happening in life, and your goals need to update as those things are happening. For example, if something comes up in life and now you don't have Wednesdays and Thursdays and Friday nights to do your business, okay, your goals need to shift. What you're doing needs to shift. You need to update your plan. Update that plan so you can succeed because this will help you stay intentional because you cannot wing it in business. I mean, you can, but you're not going to succeed, right? There is no business that winged it. Do you think McDonald's winged it? No, of course they didn't. They became a billion-dollar industry because they had a plan. And sometimes they had to adjust that plan when things needed to be changed, okay? Recognition. When people hit new ranks, you got to announce it on the This Is a Team Facebook page. Some people don't want to be announced. Mario, shout out to you because you didn't want to send me a photo, so I couldn't announce you becoming a manager. And that's okay. But if you reach out to people and they hit a rank, you need to ask them, hey, can I have your photo? I'd love to share it on the This Is a Team Facebook page and announce this monumental movement. And yes, manager is still monumental, guys. That is the foundation of this business. So every single step along the way needs to be recognized. Not only that, but when you're recognized, it's exciting. They see the positive reinforcement people are pouring onto them. They're excited for them. People need that. It's positive reinforcement. People love it. No excuses, guys. Okay, so we're going to shift here. Reminding yourself that your why is bigger than the reason not to, right? Not to introduce the opportunity out of awkwardness, not to make the phone call, not to follow up, not to post on social media. Guys, one of the biggest problems that people will have in this industry is that they use excuses to not do the work as opposed to making the excuse to do the work. You need to be a person that makes the excuse to do it. I'm not using my kids as an excuse. I'm not going to use them as an excuse. They are the reason I'm doing this business, right? I'm not going to use the excuse that I have no time, that I'm tired. The reason you are tired and have no time, it should be the reason you should be doing this business, right? And whatever your why is, if your why isn't big enough, your excuses will be so much more powerful and you will not succeed in this business. So that is really important if you want to produce income, that you understand those basics. Okay. All right. Next. All right. People don't plan to fail. They fail to plan. Write that bad boy down. That's some facts right there. So are you guys organized? Is your list growing? Have you honestly read, understand, and do you execute the pro system? Do you know the system well? Are you on the opportunity calls? Are you on the training calls? Are you taking notes? This is going to have to be a moment of self-reflection for some of you guys. Oh, I see you, Lori. But you guys always need to be taking notes and being attentive. I don't know if half of you noticed, but even at the last convention, SPDs are up there taking notes. Executive directors taking notes. Everybody that's a leader is up there taking notes. They're taking notes because there's always something new that you can gain. I had a notes in my phone one of the days because for some reason, I had a dodo bird moment and I lost my pen. I thought I had it in my notebook and I didn't. So I had a list, half my notes were in a notebook on my phone, half of them were in my notebook, and I had to reorganize them when I came home. And when I utilized those, it helped me really reflect on the things that I needed to change in my business. So you guys need to make sure you're taking notes if you want success. I tell people, look, you're not going back to school, but if you want to succeed, these are the basics that you need to do. Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about closing. If you want to be good at closing, you need to be good at introducing, then listening. My grandmother always said this, and I love this saying. She goes, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. So we need to work on our listening. You need to stop talking, stop being a pro. You don't have to be right. You don't have to know it all. That's the beauty of the system. You need to stop and listen, because people do not care about what you know. They want to know you care about them, that you are listening to them. One of the greatest things about an iPhone is that you can mute yourself. I highly recommend when you are pitching and prospecting people to utilize that as soon as the person starts talking. And the reason being isn't because you have bad intention, but a lot of times we're so excited and so passionate. We just want to get our point across that we interrupt and we cut the person off when they're giving us valuable golden nuggets on how to close them. All right, why listening matters. And this is part of closing, guys. People buy when they feel understood. So when people feel listened to, it creates sense of safety and connection. Guys, this is science. This isn't me just coming up with mumbo jumbo. This is proven science. Science and research shows that people are more likely to purchase when someone acknowledges their needs rather than just presenting features. Guys, that goes back to muting yourself. Shh. Listen to what they have to say, because when you know what they have to say, let's say we're talking their financial situation, why their reason why they want to do this, why they might be hinting at the problems or the objections they may throw at you later. Oh, well, I'm managing so much. I have these kids. I have this job. I'm doing this. You have to process what they are telling you, so you can actually avoid the objection by handling it, because they've told you what they're saying to you. They're saying the problems that they're facing. They're saying the health concerns that they're facing, right? If you're listening well to them, you're able to close them better, focusing on the information they are providing to you. People will tell you exactly how to close them if you listen. Okay? You cannot close if you do not know the person and know their why. So you have to ask questions, to listen, to not speak over them. And like I said, you got to mute your phone if you must. There's actually a Harvard study that shows that the top sales performers spend 60 to 70% of the time on calls listening. So even if you don't believe me, pretty sure Harvard did a pretty good job on this study. The top performers in the world are showing that if you listen, you can close. So this principle basically shows that the best closers let their prospect talk more. They let the prospect do the talking. Now they're asking questions to guide them, but they are letting their prospect talk. Guys, closing, magnifying. You have to reflect back to what you hear. So that's why it goes back to listening. Listening is key. Listening to understand them will help you magnify what they have given you. Right? We're not pitching everything. We're focusing on what matters most to them. You will learn what matters most to them if you have your ears open, right? Because this isn't your dream. This is theirs. I had a call the other day, and this person would not let the person speak. Would not. They kept going, and I had to mute the person while they were talking. This was a brand partner. I had to mute them. And I said, I'm so sorry. Continue with what you were trying to say. I had to mute somebody. And the only reason, it wasn't because I was trying to hurt the brand partner's feelings, but the girl was getting visibly frustrated and said, no, you're not letting me speak. And the brand partner kept talking. So I had to mute them. And I said, I'm so sorry. Go ahead and speak. So make sure you're allowing people to speak. Remember, they're going to tell you their problems and what they're looking for if you listen. Okay? Align your prospect needs and wants to the solutions we have, right? Whether it's product based. I don't know if you guys, some people are a little bit more product based. I personally am more business based. The solutions we have, your story, other people's testimonies and stories, the opportunity, the company's growth, the company's goals, the fact we have a duplicatable system, upline success, what you see, because this actually pairs really well with objections, which is what we're going to get into next. If you know about other people's stories, if you have the resources, the This Is It team, the This Is It team Facebook page where you know that there's testimonies, if you go to This Is It info and you know the testimonies on there, right, you can share those stories with people. If you're at events, you already know the company growth and the company goals, you know the duplicatable system. Okay, so you need to focus on exactly what they are asking and speaking about is what you should focus on. Nothing else. Nothing else, right? Because you're not trying to sell yourself, you're selling them, right? So don't say what you need to hear, say what they need to hear based off what they're telling you. Okay. Listening to close helps with the objections, like I was just saying. People will reveal the exact objection that they have and the motivation behind that objection with subtle little cues, tone, word choice, hesitation. They will tell you that there's an objection. Ask them. It's okay. Feed into it. And remember, one of the most powerful things you can do with objections is immediately turn it into an opportunity. That is a pro level status thing right there. Objection into opportunity. I have no time. That's exactly why you need this because this will give you time. I have no money. That's exactly why you need this because you need money, right? I'm not saying you say it exactly like that, but you got to remember whatever the objection is, you're turning it into an opportunity. If you're talking too much, though, you will miss the signals, guys. You got to listen carefully and you got to ask the right follow-up question that addresses their issues, which we're going to get into shortly. All right. I need to think about it may mean I'm concerned about the money. I'm concerned about the time commitment. Gosh, I got like 3 kids. I got school. I got soccer practice. I got 2 jobs, right? The money, I don't have the money to do this. I need money. That's why I'm looking for opportunity, right? If you have been listening, you can ask if they're concerned about X, right? Meaning that primary focus that they've said in the conversation. So that goes back to listening is really important. Okay. Ooh, sorry. So here, guys, your focus and objections is to clarify, and we're going to go through this in depth, clarify, listen, validate, meaning validate their feelings, relate to them, and then turn the problem into an opportunity. This is how we're going to do it. Acknowledge and validate. You are not arguing. Do not take this personal if they have an objection, guys. You didn't invent X39. You didn't invent the system. It's okay. Do not take it personal. People are not trying to offend you. They're just scared. They may feel overwhelmed, and it's okay. You acknowledge that, validate that. I totally understand this is an important decision, and you should feel good about it. I want you to make the best decision for you and your family. You're not pressuring them then. They're like, okay, all right, good, 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 right? You need to reassure them that you are not putting them pressure on. You want to clarify the concern and relate to them, asking a calm, respectful, open-ended question to reveal their objection. When you say you need to think about, is it more about the time commitment? Is it more about the money? Or whether this is the right fit for you? Because most people really don't need time. They just need clarity. They're unsure. And being unsure could mean that they're unsure about themselves, meaning that they don't know if they have the confidence, the ability to do this. And that's where we say, hey, well, we have a duplicatable system. We can show you how to do it, right? So there's multiple ways that you can handle the objection once you know what the real objection is. Okay. You got to relate to them with the story. This is super, super helpful to make yourself sound more like a real person also, right? Like you're relatable. They can connect with you. And again, this is also building trust with your prospect, not that you're there to sell them. Okay. Relate to them with a story and always give them a path forward without pressure. If we could make the financial concern where it's not even a problem, where I can show you how to make the money in a timely fashion, I can help you get it back in this 30 days, would you feel ready to get started? If I could show you a way, a path, a strategy to help you with your concern, would you feel more ready to get started? Right? And there's a little bit more depth into that. So don't worry, we're going to get into a little bit more depth in that conversation. But that's the point. The relating aspect could also mean a few things. So I had a girl, she was really concerned about the whole network marketing thing. She's like, man, I have somebody say, oh, I don't want to do network marketing, blah, blah, blah. Was this a pyramid scheme, right? I always chuckle. And I guess I'm just so used to dealing with objections so that it's kind of a chuckle factor for me. When I tell people about network marketing pyramid scheme, right? You got to remember, first of all, you need to know what is a pyramid scheme. A pyramid scheme is when you pay for product or services and you receive nothing in return. Knowledge is power, right? That's what a pyramid scheme is. Most people don't even know that. And it's okay. It's not like they're trying to be mean. They're not dumb. They just don't know. Okay. Secondly, when it comes to this, everything in life is a pyramid. Everything, corporate America, your church, the Girl Scouts, everything is in the shape of a pyramid. It doesn't make it a scheme. What it means in this element is that a pyramid in business is one of the easiest but most successful structures in business. However, with ours, it doesn't matter when you get in, how you get in, where you get in, you can always surpass the people above you. You can always make more than them. This company's been around for 20 years. 8 of the top 20 people in the top 20 in this company are on the This Is a Team. We just got started 3 years ago. The company's 20 years old, guys. Right? Now, most people, they can't move up like that. That's the difference in this business, right? So understanding the difference between that and what we have will help you also deal with these objections a little bit easier. And yes, if you guys have questions about it, yeah, we can dive into it to that a little bit more in a little bit. Okay. Relating them to a story also can mean, oh my gosh, when they say pyramid scheme, be like, girl, so funny. Or God, man, so funny you say that. When I first heard about this, I was like, I'm not getting into no pyramid scheme. I'm not doing network marketing. It's not for me, blah, blah, blah. I hear you. And then they showed me what I didn't know. I thought I knew, but I didn't understand. Right? I heard, oh, this person, that person, they give me a bad story. And then I said, you know what? Let me at least hear about the opportunity. Let me give them an opportunity to show me the opportunity in a different light. Show me the truth. Don't show me what I assumed. And that made things a lot different because I was very nervous too. I didn't want to get in a pyramid scheme, man. I've worked very hard in my life to not be involved in something bad, man. I busted my butt. I've worked hard. I don't want to ruin my reputation. I heard you. And then they showed me this. And I would love to show you the path that they showed me, right? You're validating, you're telling a story, you're agreeing with them, you're connecting with them. Okay. Response to the objection. There's a few of them that you guys can obviously screenshot. Remember, guys, your goal is not to argue. You don't talk about more benefits of the patch because that's not what they want to hear about. That's not going to change the objection. You don't want to push your feelings or your beliefs on them because, again, that is not a part of the objection. You've got to stay focused on what they have told you because you were listening. Money. Totally understand that feeling. Most people actually start because they need extra income, not because they just have it sitting around, right? We have a great system that is very duplicatable. I would love to show you. Can I show you how you can make your investment back quickly? How I have helped people get their investment back in 30 days. Do you mind if I show you that? Do you think the person's going to say no? I know they do not say no. They want to know because people that are desperate for money, they want to make money. They want to know what's the fast track to make money. Time. I hear you. Great thing is that we can fit this around your schedule. You make your schedule. Most people start with just a few minutes in the morning and afternoon, and then even a 30-minute opportunity call at night. When I first started, which is my truth, this is my truth. I don't know about you guys. When I first started, I dedicated only 5 to 8 hours a week to it because that's all I had juggling, and I listed all the things that I was juggling, right? If you're a mom, you're a single mom, man, I was only doing 5 hours a week because I had to juggle 3 kids. I had soccer practice, basketball practice. I had to take this one to driving school, blah, 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 whatever it may be, but juggling 2 jobs. That's all I had. Would an hour a day feel more doable, or what does a realistic starting point look like for you 30 minutes a day, an hour a day, 3 hours a day? What's doable? And I can introduce you, I can show you our system that makes your time work for you. And I can have my upline or my sponsor, my mentor, my business partner in this. I can have her get on a call and she can show you the best way to utilize your time to be as efficient and make the most money as possible to get you to your goals and your dreams. Is that something you want to do? Right? I didn't pressure you. I gave you an opportunity. I turned your problem into an opportunity for you to make that decision. Belief. A lot of people have issues with belief. Look, I get that, right? Then how you can tell me this little sticker is going to do something for me? Okay. All right, snake oil, right? All right. Yeah, you're telling me that this is going to help me with my neck, back, and knee pain. It's going to help this one with neuropathy. It's going to help this one with their mental clarity. It's going to help this. You're just like, okay. You know what? What usually helps is seeing a few more stories, testimonies from people who were in your shoes, right? People that were also struggling with neuropathy, people that were also struggling with back pain, whatever it may be. I can text you some right now, or would email be better for you? Guys, I don't know if you've noticed, but consistently I've call to action on all three of these, all of them. There's an action, an immediate action that needs to be done. So you guys aren't just focusing on the problem and addressing and validating their concern, but you're also having an immediate action to follow it. So you're not just letting them die with this, right? What's next? You're deciding the next step for them, right? You didn't, but you've asked them. You asked them, you guided them that way. Okay. So remember, I need to think about it means give me clarity. It is up to you to figure out where they need clarity and asking the right questions to find out where they need clarity. Listen, ask questions and guide them to yes, whether that's yes, send me the video. Yes, I would like to learn about how I can make my investment back in 30 days, whatever it may be. And you need to re-engage in 24 hours. Some people are like, oh, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. Don't wait. There's nothing to wait on. No waiting. No waiting. 3 steps that are easy to remember. You can screenshot this if you guys want. Ask. You're asking their why. You're asking their concerns. You're asking their goals because you're here to listen. You align those with solutions and testimonies. If they want to make money, great. Talk about the money. Don't talk about neuropathy if they care about money. Okay? They don't care about that. They want to make money. Focus on the money. If they care about healing, focus on the healing. Focus on what you need to based off what they are telling you they want to hear about. Because remember, it's not about what you want to tell them about, it's what they are asking to hear about. After you align with solutions and testimonies, you're going to ask again, permission-based closures. If I could show you a way, would you feel ready? Okay, that's the next step there, okay? Oh, I see Tom's taking a picture. There we go. All right, guys, so that is the end of the presentation. I wanted it to be to the point. If you have questions, I can address them now. If you raise your hand, I think I can then unmute you. We are only going to do maybe 1 or 2 questions. I am currently in the Florida Keys and I need to get home. So there was a lot of traffic earlier. Shout out to Vic and I and Anel and Mark for dealing with that traffic. I was not that brave. So any calls at this point, I am more than happy to answer any questions. I'll look at what are examples of those questions you ask when they say they need to? Hold on, Carly, maybe you can unmute. Let me find you and see if I can unmute you. Let me see if I can see what you mean. All right, Carly, if you can unmute to ask me your question, I'm sorry.
Oops, can you see me?
I
Can you
can.
hear me?
Oh,
Hi. So when you say I get that a lot, like I need to think about it. Like even after they jump on a call and hear it, then they kind of like fade into the darkness. And I feel like a lot of times when I'm following up, it feels aggressive. So like what are some things you say to people when they say they need to think about it?
So I asked them, what is it that they need to think about? I ask them and I'll guide them again. Well, is it more like, well, what is it that you need to think about? Because maybe there's information that I can provide to make sure you make the best decision for you and your family. So what is it that you need to think about? Is it the time commitment? Is it the financial commitment? Is it like, tell me what it is that you're thinking, just because I want to make sure you make the best decision. And I would hate for you to miss the opportunity because I didn't provide the right information for you, right? You're not putting pressure on them. You're actually blaming yourself there, right? I want to make sure I didn't lack providing information for you.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I love that.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Any other questions? If you drop them in the chat, then um, yes. What exactly? What else do you need from me? Exactly. Like Lori said, what else do you need from me to help you think about it? Guys, and literally every objection, I like to say it's typically two things. It comes down to lack of belief in themselves, or it comes down to lack of belief in network marketing. That's really the top two things that it really comes down to. And lack of belief in themselves means, hey, that looks like money, that looks like time, that looks like a few different things. So you just got to figure out what that is. But a lot of people do have a lack of belief in themselves, right? And they'll use time as an excuse. It has nothing to really do with time. It's really just a lack of belief in themselves. And that's why the duplicatable system is key. That's why showing them the duplicatable system, having them have access, letting them have access to the resources, letting them have access to the upline, right? You need to have give them those resources. You cannot hurt somebody else's business. You have to let them have the resources and access to the upline because remember, ego aside, I want them to succeed. If they succeed, you succeed. You can't succeed if they aren't winning. Laurie, go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, Brooke, how are you?
I am lovely.
Good
Thank
to
you for
see you.
asking.
I'm back to Boynton. Anyway, so can you just bring me through when somebody says, I'm really interested, but I seriously don't have the money to even just do the core? Just a conversation that you might have to help them.
Mhm. Yeah. So there's, when they say they don't have the money to get in on the core, I mean, there are some people, depending on the conversation, I'm like, well, look, I understand that you don't have the money right now to get in on the core, but at the end of the day, when will you have the money to get in on the core? Because if nothing changes now, nothing will ever change. And I'm not saying, hey, put yourself in debt, put yourself in a financial bad decision, but one of the best things that you can do is investing in yourself. And if you don't make this investment, whether throwing it on a credit card, I mean, girl, I told one of my girlfriends, I said, girl, go in your closet. There's probably a person there that an ex-boyfriend bought you that you don't even use that you could sell. And that money from that purse could get you in your business and it can help you thrive. Now, I understand not everybody's going to put value on their future and their financial goals. But let's be honest, $300, like you need to decide, do you want change? And maybe it's not something for you, but I know that there's a lot of people that look at this financial commitment and say, hey, I can't afford it, but they find a way. We had tons of people in this business, and I'll tell them a lot of times about the story. There's two SPDs. They were teachers. This is a true story. They were teachers, and they couldn't afford $75 for their son's shoes for baseball. And that was the moment where they said, enough is enough. We can't keep doing this. We're never going to financially get ahead. So when they had both of their paychecks go on that Thursday, they immediately bought a package on their credit card. They paid enough on their credit card to pay for the package, and they immediately got going. And now their SPD is doing 5,000 a week.
Love it.
So,
Thank
so, so
you.
I just tell people it's really comes down to you how bad you want it. And if you and look, we can all make it work. We can all do things. People put things on their credit cards all the time. So it really comes down to, do you want to put something on your credit card that gives you zero value, like another pair of shoes or this, that, or do you want to put the money in and invest in yourself?
I like the invest in yourself. That's good.
Yeah.
And you can't start a business for less than that.
You can't. You can't. I tell people, not even a landscaping business. You got to buy the truck, the trailer, and the lawnmower. Like, you're not going to get a better opportunity. But I tell people consistently, if nothing changes, nothing changes. You have to decide, do you want the change? Because living paycheck to paycheck next week is the same, and the next week is the same, and the next week it's the same. So you're not going to ever be able to afford, and there is no business that you can get in for $300. So you got to make the decision on how important it is to you to get to get financial freedom and to get out of debt.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks.
Awesome. No worries. Thanks, Lori. All right, Cece, I'm gonna unmute you and then roast you, and then we are gonna be done for the night because I've got to get right. And Cece, go ahead and unmute when you can.
Thank you, Brooke. I'll be quick.
No worries.
I'm kind of new with LifeWay, and you mentioned that if somebody wants to do the business part, and you said, well, I'll show you how to make your money back in a month.
Mhm.
That means I am already doing that. So I can offer to somebody else, right?
That's not true. That's definitely not true. Just because you made the decision not to get your money back in a month doesn't mean that they can't. And you got to remember, everybody moves at their pace, right? Everybody's going to move at the pace and speed that they want to. And that's the beautiful thing about this business, right? Some people want to be on a rocket ship, some people want to cruise. Me personally, I wanted to be in a rocket ship, so my goal was to get my investment back and some by first month. But there's some people, look, I can't force somebody to move, right? And just because you didn't do it doesn't mean that they can't do it. So I would say, look, I can show you how to do it, right? Because Cece, you have the duplicatable system. You have your upline, you have me, and whoever enrolled you, and whatever other SPDs that are in between us that can help you and help that person, right? It's not always a matter of what you have done, but what has been done, right? It's a copy and paste system. Just because you haven't done it doesn't mean that they can't. Does that make sense?
Yes. Oh, totally, totally. So, but then I have to know all of this knowledge, the duplicate system and all that, right?
Well, you definitely want to know it. Yes, you want to know the pro system. The pro system is very efficient, but that's what you have your upline for. This isn't a business built that you do things on your own, right? That's why we're here. You don't have to know everything. When I first got in, I knew nothing. I knew nothing. I was an event planner. I wasn't a businesswoman. I was the farthest thing from a network marketing leader, right? I didn't know how to show anybody anything. But what I realized was that I could duplicate what I was doing. And I could say, hey, get on a call. Hey, get on a call. So although you may not know and have all the knowledge, you can say, look, I know that you need to get your money back in 30 days. Let me show you a system and let me connect you with my friend Brooke, who's my business partner, and she's going to show you how to get the money back in 30 days or less. How does that sound? Right? No pressure on you. You're putting the pressure on me or whatever other SPD you want to put the pressure on because, baby, we can do it. So you don't have to worry about you necessarily doing it because the cool thing is that you're going to learn how to do it with us, right? Because we're going to be showing you and we're going to be showing that person how to do it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome, love. All right, Rocio, and we are done after Miss Rocio.
Okay, I was not going to ask anything. I was just going to mention that to that question that we had of how do I help somebody who does not have the money, like the $300. I was just going to show this guy. He just became manager yesterday. He had no money. So what he did is he had people interested and he was like in the meetings like everybody wants to join. I don't have the money to even buy my own package. So I said to him, let's just go ahead and ask them for the money, put the money in your account and use that money to get your package. So that's what he did. So his first business deal was to get all this money, put in his account all this money, and he got his package. Second time, got customers, we enrolled them, and he became a manager.
Wow. Well, there's always ways around everything, guys. And look, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're trying to make an opportunity happen, the opportunity will happen. It really comes down to you. There's grit, there's determination. For me, I started every business on my own. Nobody gave me $1. People always ask me, well, like, it would always be funny, especially in my event business. People would be like, so who's your business partner? And I'm like, me, myself, and I. And it was always funny for people. They're like, oh, because like they look at me and if you've met me, I'm a small human. I'm 5'2.5". Don't forget the half. And they'd be like, they would just look at me because I'm a small woman. They'd be like, how did you do this all by yourself? And I'm like, you just do. You just do. You wake up and you say, I'm not going to make excuses. And that's the same thing with any business, guys. You have to be that determination. And if people say I can't, you find a way. Be like, well, what's the way that you're going to do it? I had a girl sell a purse. She got in. She made money, right? So it's up to you how you're going to build this business. And if you're going to make an excuse to do it or not to do it is really up to you guys. So sorry, guys, I cannot do any more questions. So I am going to stop the recording.